Great seeing my next guest back in action. He's going to be taking on the dentist, Darren Stewart, at UFC Fight Night on March 13th. Of course, I'm talking about your boy, Eryk Anders, back here on the program. Eryk, how's it going, man?
Man, it's going awesome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Good to talk to you. Live on location in Arizona. I know that was a switch up for this camp going over to Fight Ready. What was the connection there in terms of you training at Fight Ready? Who did you know? How did you end up deciding to train there for this camp?
I've known Eddie Chaw for a little minute now, and Jason House, my manager, kind of steered me in this direction. Worked with Eddie a few times at previous UFC events, and man, just felt like he was the guy to kind of help me, especially in the striking department, with movement and angles and things like that. So it's coming along well. I'm super excited for this fight to showcase all the the new skill set and really maximizing my athletic ability. I think that's something I've been leaving on the table in previous fights, and looking to go out there and show that a little bit more.
And just so people know as well, I know you were training a bit Extreme Couture. I had Eric Nixick on my podcast a few weeks ago. He was just basically saying, look, this is a better fit for you right now in terms of getting that one-on-one coaching. That was sort of the idea that I gathered from him, is that going over here, learn a few new things, a little bit more focused training. Is that part of the reason as well?
Yeah. Definitely a lot less people than everywhere else. And, sometimes those other camps, there's just too many mouths to feed, if you will.
Yeah.
It's hard to get one fighter ready for a fight when you have 6-7 guys or girls, getting ready for fights. So, it's been awesome. Everybody out here's welcomed me with open arms and, showing a lot of dedication, and, I couldn't be happier.
Good. Glad to hear it's been a good fit. I got to talk about that fight in November against Arroyo. I know there was a weight cut issue. What exactly happened there, for those who don't know, to kind of clear the air there as to why that fight didn't take place?
Well, man, I took that fight on like 3 weeks' notice, and man, I think that's just a little bit too much to make 85. Not enough time to make 85, and man, I had like an illness, if you will. Mm-hmm. Cutting weight like that really turns your immune system into shit, and man, there's just no possible way that I could have turned around and fought the next day.
Okay, no, fair enough. Just wanted to clear that up. You didn't get COVID, did you, or what?
Could have been. We were supposed to take our COVID test, take another COVID test that night after weigh-ins, but I was in the hospital, so
damn.
I never took that last COVID test, so I don't know if I did or didn't, but. Man, I've never felt like that with the weight cut. And when I made my debut, I was like almost 240 when I cut to 185 to fight Natal in like 10 days. So, like I said, I've done worse, more extreme cuts than that. But it was just some a little off with that one. My kidneys were hurting and whatnot. So doctors and the team just decided it's better to err on the side of caution.
No, it's smart. Obviously, you got to think about your health long term. When were you actually able to get back to train after that all happened? Like, I'm sure you were out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I went home Saturday, and then just was in the bed, just getting better for about a week or so, and then progressed my way back into training. Started light, and then picked up the intensity over the next few weeks.
How long have you been in Arizona now? Because I know the Fight Ready change was sort of something, I think, when the fight was announced, but how long have you actually been out there?
I'm doing a whole camp out here. So I've been out here, I think there's 2 weeks before the fight, so I would have been out here 9 weeks total.
Wow. Okay. Is your wife come to visit with the kids, or is it what sort of, or is it just long distance?
They came for Valentine's Day, and that was it. They're in school full time now, so it's a little bit harder to get them out. And man, I've done the camp away from home, and come back and forth, and then that was when I fought Roundtree, and that's probably my worst performance. So I think all the traveling back and forth really takes a toll on you. So I her and I made the decision it's better for me to just stay out here the whole time, and they'll come when they can, and they'll see me after the fight.
What do you know about Darren Stewart here? 12-6 record. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Man, I think stylistically, this is one for the fans. I think we both, present the same skill set. We both like to fight the same. we're both fighters, you know, and you know, there are people who fight and there are people who are fighters, you know. So, you know, the fighter is the one who, you know, when they get hit, man, they bite down on that mouthpiece and they march forward and throw heavy leather, and that's what we do, you know. I think both of us will move forward until somebody hits the ground. So, quite confident that it'll be me on my feet the whole time. And, you know, I know he's been working with I think I saw an interview where he was talking about he was working with Chimaev. So I'm sure that, you know, he's trying to get his wrestling game. I know he's lost fights from guys laying on him in the past. So, you know, I don't think that he's, you know, trying to let that happen again. But, you know, I like to stand on the feet, throw the hands, and, you know, he does too. So we'll see who'll be the first one to shoot.
I actually don't think he's trained with Chimaev this camp because Chimaev got COVID or whatever. And actually, I spoke to Darren and he mentioned I think that whole Chimaev thing was something in the past. There was that whole story about Chimaev knocking out his tooth, and of course he's called a dentist. So that was it as well. Yeah, just wanted to clarify that. I think a lot of people kind of got confused by that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. One of your buddies actually fought Darren Stewart, Julian Marquez. I know you guys are different fighters. Did you ever, you know, get in touch with him and say, hey, you know, what to expect or anything? I don't know if you do that as a fighter.
Man, you know, I know that him and Darren are good friends, and so I don't want to put anybody in that position to, you know, you know, fade one guy or the other. I don't know if he did that with Julian or what, but you know, I don't want to put Julian in that position and ask for like intel and this, that, and the third. So, you know, I just you know, let it ride, and you know, we'll talk afterwards.
Speaking of Julian, I mean, he's blown up with this whole Miley Cyrus thing. I thought a lot of people gave him, you know, a hard time for nothing. I thought he played his cards pretty well. What did you think when you saw that whole thing of him, you know, turning the tables on Miley Cyrus of all people and saying, hey, you got to get this tattoo?
Well, apparently the story has yet to be written, you know.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have went ahead, after all that buildup, I would have went ahead and had James Krause put the MC in my chest hair that night, you know. But we'll see how it all turns out. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, if you call for the Hail Mary and the guy catches that last second touchdown, you know, you're a hero. You know, you're you know, the smartest guy to ever do it. But if he fumbles the bag, then, you know, it's life goes on. I'm sure. You know, I know he's done that with Taylor Swift in the past. So
he's shooting a shot. You know.
Yeah, man, you got to shoot or shoot.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Training camp. I saw you working with Vitor Belfort. How long have you had a chance to work with him?
Actually, I didn't work with Vitor.
You just got the photo then?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, we talked and, you know, had a pretty in-depth conversation about fighting and things like that. And his son's like the #1 quarterback in the nation for his age or his grade. And they were out here doing a flag football thing. So, you know, I was actually talking to him and his son a little bit about football and, you know, just some choices and decisions that he's gonna have to make in the future. Interesting.
How's his son at football? Like you're a football guy. You won a national title. Is his kid legit? What's the scouting report, Eryk? What do you think? Or have you seen him play?
Yeah, you know, just on like Instagram and stories and stuff. I've never seen him play in person. But if you're the #1 guy in your position in the nation, my opinion doesn't matter, man. The proof is in the pudding. You know, he's not, you know, #1 for no reason. You know.
Interesting. That's good. Do you plan on keeping in touch with Vitor about that subject? Like, was he like, hey, if I need any sort of advice or anything when it comes to football stuff, did he kind of, you know, extend an olive branch, so to speak?
Yeah, and you know, he's a lefty, I'm a lefty, and you know, he actually saw me out here training, working, how hard and how long I was working, and he was like, man, you got it. You know, you're going to be great. You know, I'd love to, you know, show you how to do some things as a lefty, you know, in terms of like cutting angles. And man, I'm the type of dude, if you got something to offer, I'm going to listen. And, you know, I'm going to go see what's up. So in the near future, you know, I do plan on going down there and working with Vitor a little bit.
Very cool. What about other training partners at Fight Ready? Because when I think of Fight Ready, I think of some of the, you know, the smaller guys that train over there, you know, in the lighter weight classes. But who are you getting to work with over there as far as bodies in the gym?
Well, they actually brought out Ryder Newman and
cool.
Curtis Millender to, you know, help me specifically for Darren Stewart. So
very cool.
You know, I'm getting a good look. You know, those guys are very, they're different but similar, if that makes sense. You know, they have their own flavor, but, you know, it's just good to work with guys of that caliber. You know, Ryder, you know, he trained at the Olympic Training Center and Division I wrestler. So, I'm getting a good look with that. And then Curtis, we know all about his striking and his striking pedigree. So he's a lot longer than Darren Stewart. So, really working on, head movement and moving in and working on range and things like that.
Now, I know we talked about you working with Eddie Cha. Do you get to work with Captain Eryk at all, Henry Cejudo's coach?
Yeah, I've worked with him a few times, picked his brain on a few things. He's in and out. I think he's in the Ukraine, working with one of the Olympic hopefuls, getting her ready for the Olympic trials and whatnot. So he's in and out, but when he's here, I know what you see on Instagram and on TV and stuff, is his character, but man, he's actually quite knowledgeable about the sport and wrestling, and he's been in the championship corners and championship fights and whatnot. So, he's well versed and has a lot of knowledge of the sport.
And just, kind of two other names that sort of come to mind. Obviously, Cejudo as well. Is he in the gym? And what about Paulo Costa? Is he there at all, or is he back in Brazil?
I haven't seen Paulo here. He's a hard guy to miss, so I'm sure if
right, yeah, exactly.
that I would know. But yeah, man, I worked with Cejudo quite a bit. I don't know if coaching is the thing that is what he wants to do in the future, but man, I think he'd make a great coach. He's got the pedigree, 2 champions, an Olympic medal, so or a championship in 2 weight classes. So when he speaks, people are going to listen. So he's already got the platform, and again, what you see on his persona, he's a totally different person in real life, and I hope I'm not killing his image or whatnot. But man, I was actually blown away at him and Eryk, Captain Eryk, of the people who they actually are versus what you see, the persona that they present. Man, they're not the same person.
Eddie Cha, I'm assuming, is going to be in your corner. Who else will be with you in the cage that night?
Eddie Cha, Santino DeFranco, who is a very underrated MMA mind, in my opinion. I came out here for a month this summer, and I was like, damn, this guy, knows the X's and O's and the game plan and stuff, And then getting ready for this fight, it's just, mind-blowing how he puts things together, how he explains things, and I just don't think that he gets enough credit. He's been in Cejudo's corner when he was winning championships. So was Eddie. So, man, these guys know what they're doing. And then, of course, my coach, Chris Conley from back home.
How's this fight playing out on March 13th? I know you feel like you're going to get your hand raised, but how do you envision the fight playing out?
Man, I think we're going to meet in the middle and throw. This fight, I don't think is going 15 minutes. And I think both of our chins are going to get tested. It'd be hard to say that you can get a flawless victory against Darren Stewart and vice versa. So, however the fight goes, he's got more submissions than I do, but I think people really sleep on my grappling game. So, I don't know. I think I go out there and get my hand raised with the finish, whether it be a knockout, a TKO, or a submission.
Downtime, like you mentioned, being away from your family and stuff. What are you doing when you're not training? Because you don't have to be a dad or anything. You can kind of just, I'm sure there's calls back home, but what are you doing for downtime out there?
Man, I made the mistake of starting the Walking Dead, the TV show. And, man, it's not a great show. And right now it's just kind of background noise because I'm not an emotional person, and these people seem to keep making the same emotional mistakes, not necessarily getting attached to people, but trusting people. And, they keep running into the same situation over and over and over, and they haven't learned their lesson. So to me, it's kind of annoying. I'm really upset at the Twitter world for suggesting The Walking Dead, because it's not really a great show, but I started it. I'm at the end of the 4th season, so I got to finish it, see how it ends. But I think I'm gonna start Game of Thrones next, and if that lets me down, I'm never asking anybody on Twitter's opinion ever again.
Have you ever watched The Sopranos?
Man, I was like a kid when it came out. That was an awesome show.
Oh, okay, good, because I was gonna say that you can't go wrong with The Sopranos. I love that show. So, okay, that's interesting. Do you ever watch? I'll throw this one out. Yeah, it's not anything. Have you ever watched? Do you watch MTV's The Challenge? Have you ever seen that show?
What is it?
It's called The Challenge. It's on MTV. Like, a lot of fighters watch it. I know Puna, who you know very well at Extreme Couture, he's like a huge fan.
What's it about?
It's just this show where they take a bunch of people and they do these challenges, and they have to and the winner gets like $1 million. It's like a reality show. I think like it would be the type of show I think you would be into. It'd be kind of interesting.
Sign me up. Anything for $1 million, sign me up.
Hit up Puna. He'll know what I'm talking about here. He knows exactly
Right.
how good it is. So there's my recommendation. I don't think it'll let you down. But this fight's not going to let us down, man. March 13th, UFC Fight Night. Are you kidding me? Eryk Anders, Darren Stewart. It's going to be a great one. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout outs, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Eryk Anders. And, shout out to FX Supplements, Rev Gear, Infinite CBD. Man, they all play a crucial part in getting ready for a fight in terms of gear, recovery, and things like that. So without them, things would be much harder than they need to be.